the industrial economy. It's about understanding what the problems are, critical thinking, and improving on that, and improving what we found is wrong, and then learning something new. That's essentially what it is. It's learning something new. In the meanwhile, design has also changed a lot. Many 10,000 years ago, we used to make baskets. We used to make all kinds of simple things because our life was simple, and we relied on crafts. So the first input in our lives was through crafts. And then engineering came in, thanks to the Industrial Revolution. We had a factory system, and Ford and all these companies brought in a methodical process of making things. So it moved from craft to engineering. And then R&D and science came in, and they also inputted into design, right? Then we had global trends and market intelligence, these trend analysts who started off actually in the fashion industry. These happened to be these very high society ladies who used to travel around the world. They would collect their feelings about what they feel, and they used to compile them into little reports and circulate in Europe. And that's trend analysis. Now it's a very sophisticated process. It's a very analytical process. So it's those ladies who used to feed inputs. Now it's become a de facto must-do thing for understanding markets. In fact, many design centers around the world, they have representatives in other countries. For example, Taiwan Design Center has one in Frankfurt and in San Francisco. The sole job is to collect ideas from Europe. You know, they're constantly looking. Or even how Japan expanded into the American markets. They had a lot of representatives secretly in the society. They're citizens living among the Americans, and they used to send daily reports or weekly reports back to Japan, saying, you know what, Americans like big bikes, not small ones. We make small bikes, or big cars, not. So those kind of things. So that is basically market intelligence and trend analysis. Then human factors came in. I mean, it became important for products to fit a human body. Now, if you put a big American on a small motorcycle, it's not going to work. Or a small man in a big American car is not going to work. The body proportions are important. All that became very important. Then branding came in as another additional thing. Design research. This is a very interesting thing. Design is not about beautiful products you draw with a pencil and a piece of paper. It's about how you understand your consumers, how you understand your markets. Design research is all about very sophisticated tools used to, very simple tools in a way, but the process is rather sophisticated, and the results are very, very, very interesting. And they form the input for us to design any product. So design research, and then ethnography, understanding various cultures. Northern Thailand people are different from Southern Thailand, North American different from European. Those lifestyle habits and all these things started inputting. So design basically is getting very, very sophisticated now. It's not about I like this. It's about, do you like it, and will you pay that amount of money to buy my product? So that's in a snapshot what is design. Now we will look at contribution of design to economic growth. By far, the only study done ever was the British Design Council study. I think it was 2004. And I can't get my mouse over here. All right, anyway. These red and yellow lines on top are the design-friendly companies. The green and the blue ones, this is stock market, the FTSE and various other markets. Now they found that design-friendly companies, they are valued more in the society, or in the stock market, and of course the society as well. And that little dip you see in the middle, around 1998, was when the markets crashed, the dot-com thing happened. And all the shares fell down, but essentially design-friendly companies maintained a better value in the society. So design does have a phenomenal impact. This is only research done so far in my knowledge, and probably the only slide. What is the objective of all this we are doing? I think the eventual objective of the Creative Economy program is to enhance value. Value can be many, many things. Value can be improve the life of people in Thailand. That's good value. Or improve the perception of a certain product, so you can send it to many, many larger markets. Good value. And enhance the image of Thailand in the world. Now, if you remember in the 1960s, they used to say Japanese products are rubbish. It was a common thing. I mean, Japanese products were very bad. But the Japanese, their main secret was they built these processes, very methodical processes. You put A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and you put anything through this process, out comes a good product. So you had Toyota Corolla, probably is the best car in the world because it rarely fails, because it went through the process. But does it look beautiful? It looks ugly. You know, a BMW or a Mercedes is much more beautiful. But this is the best car in the world. So, I mean, that's another kind of a value. So eventually, we have to define what our value is. What are the things we need for the Thai economy? This is another research study. How work culture, this is all about attitudes I was talking about. Work culture can help create value. There's a very recent study, was conducted last year and done by professors from Southern California Institute, London, Imperial College London, University of Minnesota. They studied something close to about 760 companies in 17 nations, and they found the internal culture of a company is the strongest driver of radical innovation. Now, why radical innovation? Mere little bit of innovation is going to make a Me Too product. For example, you make mice. You have a factory which makes mice. If you paint it blue, it's a different kind of an innovation, right? Or you change the shape a little bit, it's a different kind of an innovation. But you go into the basics of usage of devices like these and create a totally new product, radical innovation. Or Sony was probably one of the first companies to sell MP3 players in the world in a big way. There were a lot of small companies, iRiver, and I remember some other brands. Sony, I remember, had a beautiful product, but it was not innovative enough. And then Apple came with the iPod. It was a radical innovation because they didn't focus on the product, they focused on the delivery, they focused on the software, they focused on a whole lot of factors, 8 factors. We will look at it later. That's radical innovation. And the countries they studied were 8 large economies in the world. United States, China, Japan, India, Germany, UK, France, and Italy. And 4 countries which have recently developed rapidly to capture the role of innovation in propelling progress. Basically, these countries use innovation to propel their growth. Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, and Singapore. And 5 countries which have been known for innovation. Canada, Switzerland, Netherlands, Sweden, and Australia. So what they found was there are 4 drivers of radical innovation. Labor. Labor is basically the skilled people you have in your market, in your country. Nation or firm. It's valid for both. Capital. How much money is available? Seed capital, venture capital. Can you get loans? Do you have government funds and stuff? And government, of course. Government policies like centers like TCDC falls under that. These are establishments, knowledge centers for people to access ideas from around the world. These shelves have probably billions and billions of dollars worth